Hello, Star Wars fans. Welcome to our spoiler review of episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. From the desert comes a stranger. So, who is the stranger this is referring to?
I believe the stranger was, we have seen the stranger at the end of the episode. That was that guy with his skull head and
You are
those.
talking about Cad Bane, the
Yes,
bounty
maybe.
hunter or killer or whatever he is.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, the blue guy, the blue
The blue guy.
scary guy with
I
the
believe
big
he
hat.
was white a little bit.
I think he was blue.
Blue?
It was a
Okay.
pale guy, yeah, with red
I bet
eyes.
you he was blue. Okay, so he is the stranger. I wondered if the stranger was perhaps the Mandalorian. I mean, is he a stranger? I don't know.
He isn't.
Did he come from the desert? I mean, literally, yeah, Cad Bane
Well,
comes from
on
the desert.
Tatooine, where else could he come from?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like, but technically speaking, I thought he kind of also came from space. He's a spaceman. I don't know how that works in Star Wars. Okay, yeah, but really it starts all with another not entirely stranger, Marshall, what was he called? Marshall Vand. We introduced to him. He is a pretty tough guy. If I remember correctly, he also appeared in The Mandalorian. Can anybody confirm that?
Yes, I can confirm that he appeared in the Mandalorian series, and at the first time we saw him, I believe he had Boba Fett's armor.
Yes, I think so too. That's what I thought. And the armor that is referenced in this episode that he gave up was actually Boba Fett's armor, which he used to become a powerful marshal. But also without his armor, I mean, he's pretty tough. And he comes across like a cool, it's almost like a Western movie style cool marshal.
Yes, indeed.
Who deals, pretty well with these pike who want to sell spice, which I believe is some drug in Mos Pelgo. And he first gives them a chance to get lost without any issues. And they disagree, so he kills 3, and the last one has to pay a fine.
Yeah, I guess it was an exchange,
which
of sorts, yes.
Turns out to be sand, which is something very hard to come by on Tatooine.
Yeah.
But it was kind of glittering, so I thought maybe it's special sand. You never know. Don't just put it away. Hey, take a closer look. I don't know. Maybe it's bullshit.
Yeah, I wonder too if it was only sand or if it was really spice. Maybe
it's something hidden in there,
Maybe it's contained in the sand. I don't know. Yes, and this guy leaves his dead comrades behind, and yeah, well, this strange guy comes for revenge, and he wants that people.
You're talking about Cad Bane at the end, or who are you talking about?
This fishy guy, this spy.
Cad Bane, the blue guy. The blue scary guy.
I don't know his name because he didn't say so.
I'm telling you, it's Cad Bane.
Okay, I take it from you.
He's actually known, and I think he appeared in the animated series a few times.
So what kind of guy is he?
Basically a killer or bounty hunter or assassin or something like that.
Okay, so the Pikes hired him to seek some revenge of Freetown or.
But he's pretty cool. If I remember correctly, he was actually fighting a Jedi sort of ish, and apparently he survived. So he's reasonably tough. And I mean, just look at this in levels of awesomeness. I mean, we saw how awesome Marshal Wend was, even without having an armor or anything. He was pretty cool. And this guy, you know, pretty much didn't have too much trouble dealing with him and his deputy. I mean, his deputy was probably an idiot, as you can see. I mean,
yes,
you know, you could see that this guy was like, if this was not Star Wars, but Star Trek, you could say this was a red shirt. He's going to die. You know?
yes,
Even if the
yes, indeed.
stormtroopers shoot at him, he's going to die, you know?
Indeed. And it was sort of like a Western movie. So
Yeah.
I guess they are very fond of this. It's a tradition.
But you could see, am I wrong? I mean, you could see he was like up there, kill me, in neon light on his forehead.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to make a stupid move. Just
Yes.
wait for it. And Marshal Wend was like, oh yeah, he's going to make a stupid move. Go away. You're stupid. Go away. Let me deal with this.
Yeah. So they when the Mandalorian and Cobb talked, he said we both lost something that we were very fond of. So he was referring to Grogu and his Beskar armor, and yeah, he could have needed it in this situation, but I don't know if it really would have been a help. So this guy is a good shooter, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think at least the Beskar armor would have protected him from the shot, or maybe he shot.
Not if he shoots him in the head. So that's what I
the Beskar armor does have a helmet, but I mean there are spots that are not covered by the Beskar armor. At least I think the Mandalorian's armor is better than Boba Fett's in that respect. It's also more cool and shiny. But even though I like Boba Fett very much as a character, but he's like, you know, oh, I have a little bit of protection here, a little here. No, that part between I don't need to cover. I mean, it's of course the same with medieval armor because you have to move, but
and you have to earn your Beskar.
Yeah, I guess.
So the Mandalorian completed his armor over time.
Yeah, but I mean, Boba Fett didn't complete his armor at all. He just inherited it from his father, who might have earned it or not, or whatever he did.
Yeah, but if you want to complete it, you have to get some Beskar somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the desert strangers.
Yeah, also, since we covered the beginning and the end pretty much, let's go right into the middle, or let's go right into what happens next. We see R2-D2.
Yes. And he's greeted by the Mandalorian, hello friend, although he doesn't like droids. So
yeah,
that was nice.
And he doesn't react too much, you know. But he has him build a bench, you know, like the androids, like they are ants. I mean, like you could see this building androids, but it's cool to be inspired by nature, I guess. So they make him a bench. No comment. Sit here. I mean,
that's what a quite funny scene. As the Mandarin just said, how long have I to wait here?
But I just said to myself, you know, this is kind of, but it wasn't a bed though, so I guess.
Well, he slept in at least.
Yeah,
but
I mean, light on it.
Yeah, could have, like, you know, after a couple of hours they changed it to bed. So you know, but you know, eventually.
And then he meets the Jedi Ahsoka Tano and still cannot see Grogu.
Yeah, and meanwhile Grogu is levitating frogs.
Yeah.
One frog to start with. He seems to be always hungry and he eats everything, like in the Mandalorian. Like one-eyed, you know, Cyclops frogs. Yeah. And then Luke like levitates all the frogs and they go like, what is this about? Is this like an extensive lunch or temptation or just showing off? I'm more cool than you are.
I believe he showed Grogu, or he could show Grogu, if you concentrate on your learnings, you can have more frogs than just one. Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. That's a good message. Yeah.
It was a nice way to build rapport and get him back to business. Yes.
Yeah. Focus on levitating stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he gets Grogu to remember his past, and he remembers that he was already with Jedi earlier in his life who were killed by stormtroopers, like
Surprisingly easy.
super powerful stormtroopers, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, it's a bit like Order 66, and maybe it was Order 66, even though that would have been like a long time ago. But then his species can grow up to like 800 years old or 900, I don't know.
So Grogu is 50 years old, at
So
least.
that could work out. That could
this-
be Order 66.
Yes, yes, I guess so.
But you know, unlike other scenes of Order 66 that we've seen, these Jedi were facing their enemies. They were not shot in the back. So how can they lose against stormtroopers, I guess?
Yeah.
But then the stormtroopers of Order 66 were not the idiots that we see in the main trilogy.
Maybe they sent some specialists, or maybe it was like a 10-hour fight, and finally the Jedi got tired of. I don't know. I was surprised too. It seemed too easy.
But stormtroopers I think stormtroopers in the prequels are tougher than they were later on.
Maybe.
You know. We don't know. Anyway, he cannot see Grogu, or at least Ahsoka Tano has this whole, you know, plays the whole detachment spiel on him, and goes like, yeah, is this about you, or is it about what's best for Grogu? So he gives her the armor and says, well, at least give it
and
to
it
him.
it was indeed an armor. Yes, so you were right.
Yeah, a chainmail, but I still kind of think like
Yes.
chainmail, does this really work against light weapons like lasers or phasers?
Yeah, maybe not against pistols, but I believe it could still help against swords. Ancient or medieval chainmails also helped against swords. So
yeah, I suppose.
Mm.
So before we get to the kind of you have to choose scene, let's just quickly go over what happened between that. I think that's one of the core scene. So he gets trained. He has to hop like, boop, nothing really happens. You know, learning to
jump,
force jump effectively.
Yeah.
But eventually he manages. So that I think
he also destroys the training remote, so and gets approval by Luke.
Yeah, so he destroys his toys and yeah, well done. Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised about that too. Well, it's a bit like cheating, you know. So I destroy my training stuff instead of train with it. Okay.
Yeah, but okay. I think that's still interesting.
Yeah, you cannot be chased like hours, so maybe he just needed a break.
Yeah, and there was an awful lot of skulls in this episode. Actually, I noted skulls and bones, like the Java, you know, vehicle that had like this huge skull of, I guess, one of those desert monsters. And then later on, we ended up in a pub that had bones, like the chest part of some, probably the same type of monster as the inside. Did you guys notice this?
No.
The chest part, I didn't notice it, but I can say something about the skull from the Yabba's.
Like a souvenir, like strange.
Yeah. It was the Krayt Drake from Mandalorian.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Mhm.
That's what I think it was.
Yeah, they wanted spoiler. They wanted that Krayt Drake egg to eat, and I believe they kept the head as souvenir, or was it that? No.
Trophy?
Yeah, I believe. But
I think they're probably going to sell it. They sell everything. They would
this
sell
could
their
be,
own
yes.
grandmother.
But I'm not sure yet, because I believe the Krayt Drake was killed by the Mospelgo guys and the Tusks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, let's not spoil too much.
Anyway, so
But,
Luke has some doubts. He wonders if Grogu's heart is in it, and then when he lets him choose, this is a sort of logical thing to happen at the end. So
yeah,
Grogu,
I think that's a really important scene, and I
yes,
kind of feel like I really don't know. I mean, this whole Jedi philosophy, and I guess the Jedi hardliners would say, see, that's all what went wrong with Anakin. He had too much attachment.
hmm,
But on the other hand, maybe it was all that went wrong with him was that the rules didn't work out in the first place. And I don't know. So
it was a sad scene a bit, no? So he
Yeah.
was thinking to and fro, and the logical thing would be to stay with Luke, of course, because the Mandalorian cannot teach him. But still, there's attachment.
yeah, I mean, he has some two really cool items to choose from, but the items are more, they're just symbolic for his past that he will have to follow.
Yes.
I mean, like, imagine he gets Yoda's lightsaber to choose from.
Yeah.
But the
But,
truth is, I mean, from a movie perspective, I mean, from a no, let's put it like that. From a perspective inside the movie, I would totally think he should choose the lightsaber, even though I really don't get why he couldn't have the chainmail as well. You know,
maybe
that
he
would give,
gets
like,
it.
pure
Maybe he gets it
protection.
later. Maybe he can have it later.
No, that's not what the deal said. You know,
Yeah, I
you
know.
have to pick one.
I know.
Pretty-
But if
pretty much.
if he is worthy of his chosen path, who knows?
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. At least as far as we hear, that's not on the table.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
On the other hand, like from a movie making perspective, if he stays with Luke, there's really no reason we should ever see him again. So it makes much more sense that he would leave Luke and stay with a Mandalorian so he can be part of the movies again.
Yeah, from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, I mean, just you know, not just
Then
marketing.
again-
I mean, just
Then again,
storytelling.
maybe
you know?
maybe he gets his
He's
own
like-
series. Maybe he
He's
gets
like
his own
he's like the
series.
super
Look,
cool. Yeah, but even still, if he stays with Luke, and I don't think they're gonna make like a whole CGI. I mean, by the way, Luke was awesome. I mean, I felt like, you
yes.
know, this was really well done. I mean, there's probably always some people who go like, oh no, the CGI wasn't so good, but I thought like, I mean, yes, it wasn't 100% perfect, but it was pretty close. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I think that was really amazing, really well done. So I think we're not too far away from not. I mean, it was still Mark Hamill, I believe, who was the actor. But wow, that was an effect.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
So, I mean, from a storytelling perspective, unless they're going to tell the story of Luke, in which Grogu is like a side character, and I don't think they're going to do that because, I mean, this type of CGI is still super expensive, if that's even a reason, and I'm not sure they want to go down that road, because pretty much Luke's story is told, and I don't think if they stay to the story that they've developed, I'm not sure anybody wants to see how Luke develops into a grumpy old man who drinks green milk instead of blue milk.
Who knows? Wait and see.
Yeah.
So maybe there will be some other options, like if the Mandalorian gets some new seasons, maybe one adventure or the other that they might meet later on again.
Of course, I mean, Luke might appear every now and then.
Yes.
I mean, also, actually, to be quite honest, given the fact that, I mean, they always have this thing like you've got to be trained really young, but if Grogu has such an incredibly long lifespan, why can't he spend a few more years with a Mandalorian and then continue his training? I mean, if he's already 50 years old, waiting till he's 55 shouldn't make such a huge difference.
Yeah. Wait and see.
True.
And the other question I really have is, what actually is the philosophy here? I mean, some people said Luke was supposed to do things a little different. So is it really so bad with the attachment and stuff? I mean, he was attached to a certain extent. Was that bad? I mean, yes, he lost his hand due to it, but also he saved his friends, perhaps.
I
don't know.
guess I guess
Shouldn't Luke, basically the question is, especially if considering what happened in episode 5, shouldn't Luke be a little less strict? Or is the logic that because he did that, he is extra strict? Or is it just a test where he's at? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Haven't thought about it yet that way.
I mean, just to summarize it for everybody and the viewers, in episode 5, basically Yoda, like the older species version, tells Luke to not be attached and not want to save or be with his friends, but to continue his training. And Luke doesn't. He just promises to come back, which he does. And given the fact that he had a pretty important, he had a pretty important mission saving his friends, I would say, but he also had a pretty important mission preparing to face Vader. Now, Grogu, as far as we know, has neither. He doesn't have anybody to save. He just wants to spend time, I guess, with the Mandalorian.
Maybe that's the point, because he has a strong bond with the Mandalorian, and he's not yet fully concentrating on his training and Luke, because his past is still too much with him, and Luke might want to help him to concentrate fully on either. So either on the Mandalorian or on him and his training. So maybe this is just the thing.
Yeah. So what do you think he'll pick, and what do you think will happen?
I hope he will continue his training.
I think that's what would seem to be like from an inside the world perspective, the best choice. Personally, I think, and that idea is also, he's not the most disciplined one. He can't even discipline himself to not eat, the
everything.
Not even the frogs. I'm thinking about the scene where he just ate the babies of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
horrible.
eggs. The eggs,
Yeah,
yes.
and I think, yeah, if that's his level of discipline, he will want to be with the Mandalorian. I hope that Luke is wise enough to accept him back eventually.
So on the other hand, Grogu remembered his Jedi past, his Padawan past in the temple. So maybe this did something to him.
Yeah, but even if he stays, he should get his chainmail. Why not? This is awesome. It protects him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. So maybe he gets it later on, after he has chosen the Jedi path and has concentrated good enough on this. So maybe he could have it later. But for now, it's one or the other, of course.
But I guess if we're going to see him again, he will have to probably choose the Mandalorian, which would be cool. Then he would be part of the series. And I think he's probably everybody's favorite character in a way.
Yeah.
Or one of them anyway.
Yes.
The younger audience.
Indeed.
For sure.
I like this is at least something that has been brought to a further step, and the other thing is about Tatooine, that we see the Pikes, how they take the power of the planet, how they take the planet over or want to, like the suicide mission in the cantina. And
it wasn't suicide, they ran away.
No, not suicide.
Themselves.
Yeah, right, not
they
suicide.
Killed the
Sorry,
people in the pub. The lady with the wobbly bobblies.
What's the word?
Terrorist. Basically.
Yeah, as assassination or massacre. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, pretty bad, you know.
yes.
So I guess,
So they threaten and kill people, and so Boba Fett is the only one who actually takes action, because the other three crime families
do nothing. But
hold
that was the
still.
kind of like the deal.
Yeah, but they also do not do anything. Yeah, well, maybe it was a deal that they do not anything at all. But I guess the deal was they do not stop Boba Fett from what he's doing. But
Yeah.
but not that they let the Pikes do everything they want. Christian, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I believe they destroyed the pub to send a message to Boba, maybe, or to send a
Well,
message to the people.
so I was wondering, was the lady in the pub kind of supporting Boba too obviously? But I think she was still pretty neutral, maybe a little on his side.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think we're getting closer and closer to, I don't know, is the next one the season final, or how many?
I'm not
That's
sure. I believe the season final will be a series where they will defeat or not defeat the Pikes. It seems to be the
they will
season
defeat
final.
or not defeat the Pikes. Yes, I think that is exactly the episode, the description of pretty much every episode.
This is but I guess it's the next one is the last one for this season 7.
So basically, I hope he eventually kicks some butt. It's about time.
Yeah.
And maybe we even find out what is below their masks. And I don't know, what do their masks remind me of? Kind of like, I don't know, wasps or something like that. I don't know.
I was thinking at the moment also about wasps.
Ugly dudes.
Yeah. So
But
we see Boba Fett with a major domo, with Chrysanthemum, with the 4 young mods, and so this is a very small group with Fennec Shand, and so they need some foot soldiers, and the Mandalorian got the idea with the people from what is now called Freetown and has been called Mospelgo, so maybe they will join them, and so he has a little group of people, but they are not many. So I wonder how can they stand a chance against the Pikes? They seem to have a lot more people.
we don't know how many the Pikes really are. But I guess we'll find out.
Obviously no one knows. So Fennec Shand shows this map and says, oh, we have it from hearsay or from whispers where the soldiers are located. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited, or I'm looking forward to see the final fight between the Pikes and get the Pikes finally get their ass kicked.
Yeah. I think we are, there's with Cad Bane, there's another interesting character introduced into the series. So there's going to be a couple of interesting fights. Even though I'm not quite sure who other than Cad Bane will actually be the main antagonists for the final battle. I mean, the Pikes will, but they literally have no face, at least none that we've seen. So as far as I'm concerned, all the Pikes are.
It's a bit like the Tusken Raiders. So
yeah, it's a bit like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not particularly scared by the Pikes. I mean, they're just many, but I mean, like Marshal Vand was just shooting them down like nothing. So I guess if there are many Pikes with that level of skill,
and
you just need 2 dudes in a Beskar armor and just be done with them,
So this Pike left his dead comrades there, which is a bit like insects, because everybody else would have taken them with them. probably.
Yeah, I think he was a bit in a hurry at that moment.
Yeah, well, that's true, but yeah, I don't know.
So let's look forward till the final battle. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, so let's hope we get some result in the next episode, because otherwise it will be a long, long cliffhanger. Well, we get a cliffhanger anyway, I guess, but maybe we get some step closer, because let's face it, there was not much happening in this episode, was it? It was just some Luke Skywalker, R2D2, and
I wouldn't say there wasn't much happening. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of battles going on, but I mean, we saw Grogu again. We did start off with an awesome, Western style fighting scene. So
yes,
we had that.
That's right.
We had Luke waving about with his lightsaber, almost as if he was gonna attack Grogu, or was he just gonna impress him?
It was, yeah, he wanted to impress him. Yes.
I don't
So
know.
it was fun to watch, but I missed some more progress in the story line,
Yeah, but I think this was an episode where we just like a nostalgia episode almost.
Yes, yes, certainly. So to see Luke Skywalker again was, of course, fantastic, and some training of Grogu, of course, as well. And I guess it was one of these episodes where Boba Fett was only. Did he even say something? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's got a few words at the end. You can just put it like this: this episode was about the bare bones of Star Wars, quite literally.
Yes, absolutely. So for every fan, something wonderful, even with this character I didn't know the name of, and so we are back in Star Wars universe, and that's of course worthwhile as such. But I'm waiting for the next episode.
Well, you're just going to set it up. Okay, so let's look forward to the next episode. I'm looking forward. Curious what viewers will think about this. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, again, to hit like and subscribe and the bell if you haven't already, because this is the way.
This is the
This
way.
is the way.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye. See you.
Bye.